Stanwick Real Estate. I figured we would take a look at the market since the coronavirus has hit us. I'm looking from the middle of March 15th to the end of the month for what's happening in Loomis Real Estate. I think it's kind of interesting. We basically have about 8 new listings. We have had 4 canceled listings, which is different than when a listing runs out of its expired. That means that the listing agent and the seller agreed to cancel it. We have 4 closed listings, which means houses have closed after the coronavirus kind of shelter in place in California. We have hold, which is a status where the property isn't available online, but it's technically on hold. And then we've had 3 pending listings, which again is really interesting given the fact that the houses that are pending, we're on between the beginning of the month or the middle of the month and the end of the month. So what I want to do is I just kind of want to walk through each one of these listings and talk a little bit about them. The first listing is Sierra Valley Lane. That's an auction. So it's it's a good price at $399, but it's an auction, and those are usually a little challenging to buy. You actually have to go to a website and bid on them. The next listing is a new listing that came out. It's been on the market 11 days. It's on Pearson. That's over in De Anza Estates, Del Oro School District, Loomis Schools. Again, a little older home. That's a new listing. Arcadia, here's another house in De Anza Estates. Been on the market for 9 days, around $300, $315 a square foot. Here's a house on North Lakeshore that basically has been listed a couple times, but it's back on market again. 7 days, $545,000. That's out at the end of Horseshoe Bar Road towards the lake. Here's a vacant house. I think vacant houses are an interesting challenge for the current orders of shelter in place. There's a risk here seeing someone's house when it's occupied. There's a risk to them. There's a risk to you, and I think that's one of the more interesting questions that I'm hoping to get addressed and get some really good guidance coming up. I think right now, vacant houses, we really need to, as a business, be able to let people know if it's vacant. Silver Ranch, for sale by an agent. That's over there off of King Road near Loomis Grammar School. Another new listing. This is a vacant house. It's a trustee sale. El Monte is close to the flower farm. Really like the flower farm, out there by Horseshoe Bar Road, close to Placer School for K through 8. Again, 1 acre, so it's kind of that balance of you've got a big lot and you're in Loomis, but you're not spending all your time mowing. Sugarloaf Mountain. This is a luxury listing, been on the market for about 3 days. What's interesting about this is, the current challenge. This agent on her website or on a YouTube video saying that you can see the house after shelter in place. On the MLS, she's telling you to contact her. So again, this is just a little bit of the confusion right now in this market of selling a home with people's safety involved. Here's kind of what we're seeing here. This house was on the market for 147 days, canceled. So basically the seller right now just doesn't like the current situation, or just feels that, after 147 days, she's not going to get a real hardcore buyer to buy it. Brennan's, this is another house that was just came on the market pretty much after the corona, but had been listed a couple times before. Again, it's a house that I think is appealing just because it's kind of modern and it's on less than 2 acres. But that's always the challenge with small acreage. It has to have everyone has a different use for the land. Here's a house over there in Legacy Lane. You know, canceled again. This is what we are seeing more canceled listings with coronavirus. So the rules of being priced right still apply. This was an interesting house in Cambridge Estates. It was listed last year. It went back on the market, went into contract, and the buyer didn't perform. And the seller right now really doesn't want to go out on the market, so the listing was canceled again. Here's basically what I think is the important part to really share with anyone thinking about buying or selling a house. This house closed 3/26/20. That's basically last week. So, everything's working the way it should be working. Here's a house on Sparris. Went in contract in 8 days. Multiple offers, and it closed on 3/17. So right when all this thing hit. So again, real estate as a business is working as you would expect it to. Here's a house again, went into contract 4 days. Basically, it didn't have multiple offers, but it closed in 33 days. So here's one that basically in the middle of the coronavirus in California was able to be sold. Here's another house that went out basically in the beginning of the month, had multiple offers and sold, and I believe it had multiple offers. Let me just double check. No, it didn't have multiple offers, but a full price offer. Basically just sold 3/27 last week, and real estate is working, right? So the point here is that if you want to sell your house, the business is working, meaning you can get the inspections done, you can get the appraisals done, you can get the disclosures you need, you can get your loan, you can go to the title company and sign your loan papers or pay cash or transfer title. So the business is really working. But I'd like to show you the last status, and this is basically what else we're seeing here with the current state of the virus in California selling real estate in Loomis. We're seeing holds. So a house on Lakeshore, been on the market for a while. They don't want to rack up more days on market. They're on hold. Another house on Saunders has been on the market for almost a year. They're on hold. A house out in Alameda had been on the market for 72 days. Again, we sense properties like this should have an offer. I've said this on other videos. Even luxury property in a seller's market, it should have an offer in 90 days. So right now they're on hold. Here's another house out there on St. Francis Woods. Really cool little community in there. After 7 days, I don't think they, like I said, we're still trying to work through the showing stuff. They're currently on holding. Here's a house again. Went out on 3/15, right in the middle of the virus. 5 days, and it had 4 offers. So again, it just goes to show you how this market is working. And people are buying houses in the middle of the virus. Obviously, the showings are a challenge. Brooks, this seemed like a good price when it went on there. It's in De Anza. It's under $300 a square foot, and $349, 13 days, and had 3 offers. Again, houses under 400,000 in Loomis are going into contract. Here's a luxury home, just went pending on 3/21. Again, just pointing out that there are buyers out there buying during the virus. yes, the showings are a little bit challenging, but once we can work it out with the buyers and sellers and keeping everyone safe, things are happening just like there wasn't a virus. If you have any questions or you'd like to talk to me about what your thoughts are on buying or selling in the virus during the virus, I'd be more than happy to help you. Just reach out to me on my website, cliffstanwick.com, or my Facebook page, Stanwick Real Estate. I think it's definitely a different time to buy or sell real estate, but there are deals out there. There is credit. You wouldn't know it. So be safe, and I'll be talking to you.